time now for the news review of this bulletin. The British Prime Minister Liz Truss has faced tough grilling in Parliament over her controversial tax cuts plan that she was forced to abandon. Opposition Labour Party leader Keir Starmer mocked Truss over her U-turn.
I've got the list here. 45p tax cut, gone. Corporation tax cut, gone. 20p tax cut, gone. 2-year energy freeze, gone. Tax-free shopping, gone. Economic credibility, gone. And her supposed best friend, the former Chancellor, he's gone as well. They're all gone. So why is she still here? Why on earth would anyone...
Starmer was taking aim at the Premier during a question time session held less than 2 days after the new finance minister said that he will reverse almost all tax measures announced by his predecessor. Another Labour MP, Sarah Owen, called on Truss to step down, saying that it is better for her to quit and to call a general election. Truss, however, brushed aside those calls. She boasted her resolve to keep fighting despite growing voices questioning her ability to rule the country.
Mr. Speaker, I am a fighter and not a quitter.
Meanwhile, Truss's popularity has dropped significantly within her Conservative Party. Polls indicate that she has become the most unpopular Prime Minister just 6 weeks in office. At least 5 Tory MPs have demanded a substitute for her in Downing Street. Truss is under fire for her so-called mini-budget, which intended to slash a host of taxes without a curb on spending. The plan that was unveiled in late September sent markets into turmoil and led to a drop in the value of the British pound against the dollar. Afterwards, she sacked her close ally Kwasi Kwarteng as finance minister. The newly appointed Chancellor of the Exchequer, Jeremy Hunt, has reversed the decision to cut taxes for the richest earners and the companies that are making profits. In staying with news from the UK, the British Interior Minister has stepped down from the cabinet of embattled Prime Minister Liz Truss. In her resignation letter posted on Twitter, Suella Braverman said that she has made a mistake and accepts responsibility. She added that she has concerns about the direction of the government also. The Interior Minister's departure sounds the alarm that other cabinet members might follow in her footsteps and quit. That also resonates what happened to former Prime Minister Boris Johnson as he faced a torrent of resignations during his last days in office. Said Purza is a correspondent joining us from London to give us the latest. Bernard D. Shakespeare is a professor of economics, also joining us from London with an analysis. Welcome to you both. So Said Purza, the ups and downs of what's going on in the UK, in particular Liz Truss, and the challenges that she is facing. Give us the latest.
You just gave us the latest cover, the resignation of Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary. A lot of speculation as to why she did that. Of course, she mentioned that this was a result of correspondence mistake and that it was considered as a breach of the ministerial code, which is why she has resigned. But this is a person who belongs to the right wing of the Conservative Party. She's a Brexiteer. She's a Johnsonite, if you will, and she's someone who supported tax cuts for the highest earners. Now, this reeks of probably a resignation or the minister stepping out in opposition to all of the U-turns that have been made since Jeremy Hunt took over as Chancellor. And Jeremy Hunt belongs to the center. He's a centrist MP or politician. It could be that, and we might see a barrage or a flood of other resignations in the coming days, but these are really not written in sand or in not completely certain as of yet. Now, what will happen to Liz Truss? A lot of speculation about that too. A lot of people are saying that she is a wounded prime minister, that the opposition has seen the blood and they know how to go after her. You played that clip by Keir Starmer, the opposition Labour leader. All those reasons why Liz Truss is in the mess that she has. And what we also saw happen, Kaveh, at the PMQ today was that she overruled her own chancellor, on the so-called pension triple lock, which is to increase people's pensions in lockstep with the inflation rate. Jeremy Hunt, apparently was going to not increase that by that amount, but Liz Truss overruled him and announced that it was going to go up to keep up with the inflation rate, which, by the way, has passed the 10% mark, now is at 10.1%. And also, all of this happening at a time when people are worried about their energy bills and the cost of living in the coming months. As you know, the flagship of Liz Truss's economic plan was to put a cap on energy bills for the next 2 years. That has been cut short up until April next year, 2023. Mm-hmm. So she's really on the ropes, and she's lost a lot of credibility, if not all of it. The question that is now being asked is, what is the point of her being prime minister when Jeremy Hunt has scrapped pretty much everything that she had promised in the leadership contest and in the weeks since she was appointed prime minister? Govt.
So can I ask that question from you, Rodney Shakespeare, as our correspondent Said Burza there said? What is the point of her being a prime minister if she flopped so badly when it came to this mini budget?
Well, the situation is astonishing. The Prime Minister and her Chancellor proposed a policy which has outraged her own side. That policy was to borrow money at interest, at rising rates of interest, and give that money to the very rich, believing that the rich then spend the money, but they never do. It's called trickle-down policy. It's totally discredited. It never works. And everybody, including her own party, is outraged. And as a result, she was then forced to sack her own chancellor for implementing the policy which she actually proposed. And so she will soon be out. The question is, will she be kicked out by Halloween Eve, when she will go out on a broomstick? Or will she be kicked out before Guy Fawkes Day on November the 5th, when she will presumably disappear in a puff of smoke? But her government is collapsing. And I comment now on today's resignation of the Home Secretary. It looks to me as though the Home Secretary deliberately made a technical error on revealing a document to somebody who I think could probably be trusted. And as a result, she said, oh, I must resign. And in doing so, that former Home Secretary has endeavouring to take over the right wing of the party. Anyway, the whole thing is collapsing. A quick word on Said. Yes, 10% is the inflation, except on food it's 14%. And when you add in the rising interest rates and the mortgage and the rest of it, you're looking for some people at 20%. However you look at it, people are furious. The government is collapsing. And the quicker Liz Truss goes, well, it won't make any difference. It will not make any difference to what is now a disastrous situation.
Said, can you tell us how furious people are?
People are angry. You talk to shopkeepers, for example, they are telling you that the price of everything has gone up, from electricity to gas prices to raw materials that they use, and not to mention rent. Households, for example, are looking at higher rent. People who have been paying mortgages for many years are now looking at paying an extra £500 a month. And that happening at a time when people are not receiving a wage rise that is in keeping with the rate of inflation and the increasing interest rate. And so the anger and outrage among the public is palpable, and even among the members of the Conservative Party, according to the latest opinion polls, more than half, that's 55% of them, want this prime minister gone sooner rather than later.
Thank you for that. We'll leave it there. Saidpur is a correspondent there from London, and also from London, Rodney Shakespeare, Professor of Economics. Thank you to you both. And with that, we come to an end for this news review. Thanks for tuning in.